Welcome back to BikeBeat. You know a bike is special when it makes you want to take the long way home. The 2026 Honda NX650 Retro Scrambler is one of those bikes. It's a machine that blends old-school ruggedness with just enough modern tech to make every ride feel connected, mechanical, and real. Today on BikeBeat, we're taking a deep dive into this resurrected classic, exploring what makes it tick, how it rides, and whether Honda's newest throwback is more than just a styling exercise. Let's start where every story should, with a bit of history. Back in the late 80s and early 90s, the original NX650, also known as the Dominator, earned a loyal following for being dead simple, dependable, and endlessly rideable. It was a single-cylinder thumper that could cruise the streets all week and hit the trails on the weekend without complaining. Over time, it faded out of production, but the cult following never really disappeared. So in a move that feels equal parts nostalgic and calculated, Honda has brought the NX650 name back, revived, redesigned, and ready to tackle a world that's rediscovered its love for scramblers. On paper, the 2026 NX650 Retro Scrambler plays it close to its roots. The engine is a 644 cubic centimeters air-cooled single-cylinder, still packing a solid thump, now revised with updated internals and fuel injection. It produces about 44 horsepower and just over 50 Nm of torque, nothing earth-shattering, but right on the money for a middleweight dual-purpose bike. What matters is the character. This isn't a high-revving sport bike motor, it's torque down low, a wide power band, and a soundtrack that tells you this engine is alive and kicking. It starts with a deep bark and settles into that unmistakable single-cylinder thump that vibrates through the bars just enough to remind you you're riding something mechanical, not synthetic. The gearbox is a 5-speed, which might raise eyebrows in an era where 6 is the new standard, but honestly, it works. The ratios are spaced well for urban use and light trail riding. First is short enough for crawling through technical sections, while fifth gives you a relaxed cruise at 100 km/h. The clutch is light, and the fueling is dialed in, no herky-jerky throttle response here. You twist, it goes. Predictably, controllably, and with just enough urgency to keep things fun. Chassis-wise, Honda's played it smart. The NX650 is built around a steel frame with a reinforced subframe, clearly designed with both strength and simplicity in mind. It doesn't try to be ultra-light, but it's no heavyweight either, coming in at just under 180 kilograms wet. That puts it squarely in the easy-to-handle category, especially with a seat height around 830 millimeters, which most average riders can straddle comfortably. Suspension is non-adjustable up front with a 43 mm conventional fork and preload adjustable monoshock in the rear. It's long travel enough to soak up gravel roads, potholes, or the occasional trail dip, but not so tall or stiff that it feels out of place in the city. It's all about balance here, and that's a theme you'll see again and again. The wheels are a 19-inch front and a 17-inch rear, wrapped in semi-knobby dual-sport rubber. That gives it a nice blend of on-road grip and off-road capability. You're not going to be railing berms or hitting hard enduro trails, but for fire roads, light trails, and city commuting with an edge, the setup is ideal. The brakes? A single 320 mm disc up front with a 2-piston caliper and a 240 mm disc in the back. Braking power is decent, progressive, and predictable. It comes with switchable ABS, which you can disable on the rear wheel when you hit the dirt, a nice touch for riders who want to lock it up and slide a little. Now let's talk about what really catches the eye, the design. Honda's done a brilliant job blending retro styling with modern proportions. You get a round LED headlight housed in a vintage-style nacelle, an angular tank with throwback graphics, a flat-ribbed seat, and a high-mounted twin-exit exhaust that screams old-school scrambler. Even the paint options channel the past, think matte forest green, sand beige, and that unmistakable red and white combo that screams Dominator DNA. It looks tough, purposeful, and unpretentious. No chrome for the sake of chrome, no forest patina, just solid materials and honest craftsmanship. The dash is a simple digital unit, monochrome, rectangular, and minimalist. You won't find full-color TFTs or navigation maps here. Just the essentials: speed, fuel, gear indicator, and trip info. That's the point. This bike isn't about connectivity overload or distracting menus. It's about riding. And that goes for electronics too. There are no ride modes, no traction control settings, and no electronic suspension. What you see is what you get. And for a lot of riders, that's a breath of fresh air. Ergonomics are spot on for this style of bike. The handlebars are wide and slightly raised, giving you lots of leverage whether you're slicing through city traffic or standing on the pegs on a dirt path. The pegs are grippy, and the seat is flat and long enough for you to shift your weight when needed. It's comfortable for an hour or two in the saddle, though long-distance touring types might want to invest in some cushion upgrades or aftermarket options. Honda has also leaned into the accessory game here, offering modular kits to suit different styles. There's a trail kit with a bashplate, engine guards, and handguards for those leaning toward the dirt. Then there's an urban kit with soft panniers, a flyscreen, and sleeker mirrors. It's a clever way to let riders make the bike their own without having to wade through endless aftermarket catalogs. Now, the big question: how much does it cost? Honda's positioned the 2026 NX650 at around $8,499. That's competitive, especially when you consider what rivals are charging for bikes that look the part but don't necessarily have the same mechanical charm or dual sport functionality. It undercuts some of the premium Euro scramblers while offering more usability than many of the cheaper retro-styled commuters. On the road, the NX650 is a joy to ride. It's not lightning fast, but it's quick where it matters. It doesn't overwhelm you with electronics, but it gives you the tools to ride confidently. And best of all, it has character, a rare thing in a segment that too often leans on superficial styling. You ride it, and it makes you smile. You park it, and people walk up to ask about it. That's the mark of a bike that connects. There are some downsides, sure. If you're expecting cutting-edge performance, this isn't your bike. It's not as refined at highway speeds as a parallel twin, and that fifth gear can feel a little stretched over long distances. It's not for aggressive enduro either, it's more soft-roader than full-blown dirt bike. But if you walk into this knowing what it is, a stylish, versatile, reliable scrambler that can do a little bit of everything, you'll probably be more than satisfied. In a world that's increasingly packed with tech-heavy, over-designed motorcycles, the Honda NX650 Retro Scrambler is refreshingly honest. It doesn't pretend to be something it's not. It's not trying to be the fastest or the flashiest. It's trying to be the most rideable. And in that, it absolutely succeeds. So that's the verdict from us here at BikeBeat. The 2026 Honda NX650 Retro Scrambler isn't just a nod to the past, it's a smart, stylish, and surprisingly capable bike that proves less really can be more. Whether you're a nostalgic old-schooler, a new rider looking for something approachable, or just someone who wants a cool bike that actually works in the real world, this could be your next ride. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Would you ride the NX650? Or are you still holding out for something even more retro? Until next time. Stay upright, stay curious, and keep riding.